Have you ever stood in a place so loud it swallowed your own heartbeat yet felt utterly, terrifyingly alone? That was me, Claire Jensen, 29, single mom, frazzled as a barn cat in a hailstorm, 3 gates away from missing the last flight out of Bozeman Yellowstone International on Tuesday, July 2025. Outside the tall terminal windows, the sky over 3 Forks, Montana population 2, 57, and shrinking was the bruised lilac color you only see when a late summer storm has been flirting with the Bridgers all afternoon. The air smelled of fresh rain on cedar siding, the same scent that drifted off my grandparents' porch back in Belgrade when I was small enough to think the world was gentle. Inside, the terminal was a living lung, inhale of rolling suitcases, exhale of crying babies. Gate monitors flickered red with delay codes, the speakers crackled like a campfire doused with soda. I clutched 6-month-old Ellie to my Chester strawberry blonde curls plastered to her forehead with tears, while my free hand wrestled a stroller whose left front wheel had decided to audition for Cirque du Soleil. The diaper bag vomited wipes in slow-motion arcs. My phone buzzed every 8 seconds, Mom asking if we'd boarded, my boss asking if the Seattle deposition files were uploaded, the airline app cheerfully announcing our departure had slid another 40 minutes. Ellie shrieked, a high C-sharp that cut through the clatter. People flinched away, earbuds clattering like loose change. My own tears threatened, but I'd learned early that motherhood is 10% instinct and 90% pretending you have a plan. I scanned the concourse for a friendly face-any face until my gaze snagged on a man seated near the windows. He wore a soft gray Henley, sleeves pushed to the elbows, reading a dog-eared copy of All the Light We Cannot See. No roller bag, no laptop bag, no boarding pass peeking from a pocket, just a ceramic diner mug of coffee steaming beside him. The kind you get at the Blue Moon Cafe on Main Street 3 Forks, rimmed in sky blue glaze. The steam curled like lazy handwriting. I swallowed my pride and crossed the 20 feet that felt like a marathon. "Excuse me," I said, voice trembling like the last leaf on an October maple. "I know this is weird, but could you hold her for 2 seconds while I fix this stroller wheel?" He looked up. Eyes the quiet green of Bridger Creek after spring melt, a smile so small it was almost imaginary. Of course. He folded the book, tucked a receipt between pages to mark his place, and lifted Ellie as if she were spun glass. The moment she left my arms, she hiccuped, blinked, stunned by the sudden stillness. While I knelt on the carpet patterned with tiny airplanes that looked like doodles, spoke softly to her. "Your mama's doing the work of 3 people right now. You watch, she'll make it look easy." His voice was butter on warm cornbread, no urgency, no judgment. I felt my poussin unclench. Behind us, a toddler rammed a plastic dinosaur into a vending machine. The clang echoed like a cowbell. Overhead, the automated tram whooshed like distant wind through lodgepole pines. Somewhere, a phone rang with the ringtone of summer crickets. I wrestled the wheel back into its axle, wiped my dusty palms on my jeans, and reached for Ellie. She was asleep against the stranger's shoulder, tiny fist curled around the collar of his Henley. "Thank you," I whispered. "I'm Claire." Leo. He offered his hand calloused, warm, the kind of hand you trust to measure fence posts or rock a cradle. We exchange the shy smiles strangers share when they've touched each other's children. I was about to ask where he was headed when the lights flickeredence, twice then steadied. A hush rippled through the terminal like wind across wheat. Overhead, the PA system stuttered. Then a new voicemail, young, clipped cut through in the flat vowels of the Mountain West. Attention! Evacuation Protocol Delta. Proceed to exits in orderly fashion. This is not a drill. My stomach dropped through the floor. Ellie startled awake, wailing anew. I froze, stroller half folded, diaper bag still vomiting pacifiers. Leo's eyes snapped to the departures, bored every screen now pulsing red. He pivoted, scanning the concourse the way I once saw a rancher scan a storm horizon. "Claire?" He said he'd caught my name from my boarding pass clipped to the bag. "I need you to trust me." "Trust you to do what?" I whispered, clutching Ellie so tight she squeaked. "To get you and Ellie home safe." Before I could answer, a metallic pop echoed from gate A7. Not gunfire, something softer, almost like a soda can opening. Leo's shoulders squared. "Single incendiary device, briefcase size, timer, not remote, 93 seconds. He said it like he was reading a grocery list. My knees buckled. He pressed Ellie back into my arms, then slipped his hand into the front pocket of his Henley and withdrew what looked like a silver pen. A twist, and it became a miniature screwdriver. With 2 flicks, he popped the plastic cover off a nearby payphone. Yes, they still exist in small airport sand, yanked a rainbow of wires. My heart pounded so hard, I tasted copper. Around us, travelers surged toward the exits, shoes squeaking, a chorus of excuse me, excuse me." A woman sobbed into her husband's chest. A teenage boy, live, streamed with shaky hands. Leo's fingers were a blurred to blue, yellow to ground. The terminal speakers crackled again, this time with a hiss of static, then silence. The red screens blinked to normal. Somewhere behind me, a toddler laughed. Leo exhaled, the first sign he was human. He turned, eyes finding mine. "Device neutralized. Local PD will find the bag in a trash can by gate 12. No casualties, no panic." "Who are you?" My voice cracked like thin ice. He hesitated, then pulled a slim leather badge from his back pocket. The crest was unfamiliar, an eagle clutching an olive branch in one talon, a lightning bolt in the other. "Retired," he said. "Officially. Unofficially, I was asked to keep an eye on the terminal while I visited my sister in Gallatin Gateway. She runs the Blue Moon Cafe Best Huckleberry Pie west of the Mississippi. You should try it sometime." I almost laughed. Almost. Security flooded in. Suited agents swept past us like a river. Leo stepped aside, letting them take point. He handed me Ellie's fallen pacifier, wiped clean on his sleeve. "Your flight's boarding now. Gate B3. You'll make it." I couldn't move. "You just saved." "Small-town kindness," he interrupted gently. "It's contagious. Pass it on." I boarded the plane with Ellie asleep against my chest. As the wheels lifted, I glanced out the window. Leo stood on the tarmac, phone to his ear, hair ruffling in the crosswind. He looked up once, raised 2 fingers in a quiet salute, then disappeared into the shadow of the terminal. Later, scrolling the local news on my phone, I read a brief article. "Suspicious package found at Bozeman Airport. Rendered safe by quick, thinking bystander. No mention of Leo." And here's the gentle twist. Tucked inside Ellie's blanket was Leo's bookmark, the receipt from the Blue Moon Cafe. On the back, in neat blue ink, "For the nights you wonder if the world still holds quiet heroes, L." As our plane touched down in Seattle, I whispered to Ellie, "We just met one." If this moment lit even a tiny spark, share it with someone who needs reminding that courage often wears a Henley and carries a library book. Hopeful moral. The most ordinary places can birth the most extraordinary grace. Never underestimate the power of a calm hand in a storm.